Hey guys, I'm Myra from Low Carb Love, and today I'm gonna share 3 tips for healthy and consistent weight loss. Now, one of the first things that I start off with every single morning is my cafecito. Sometimes I'm in the mood for hot, and today I'm in the mood for cold. I love blonde espresso because it is just a lot more mellow. And then I have some no sugar added milk. Okay, now if you're fasting, some people, of course, everyone has their own opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. If you are doing a clean, strict water fast, then of course, coffee is not gonna be, that's not something that you're gonna consume. Now, there's also a rule of thumb where a lot of people believe that as long as you stay under 50 calories, you are still in a fasted state. Another thing is 1 tablespoon of heavy cream. So there's a lot of, it just really depends. Comment down below, let me know what how you feel about that. Personally, if I am doing a very strict fast, then I'm gonna do water only. If I'm in a place where I'm just trying to make healthier choices right now, I'm not really trying to lose weight, I'm just really trying to live my life comfortably, then I enjoy my coffee in the morning, guys. This is one thing that I absolutely love. So I just do a little bit of unsweetened milk, and I do a little packet of sweetener as well, which is just stevia. And sometimes I also like some creamer. I feel like it just changes the consistency of the coffee a little, but you don't need much, literally just a little splash. Now, I like to fast until about noon. I feel like that's a really good time for me. And I know fasting sounds a little scary, but guys, we all fast. All of us fast while we sleep. Unless you're eating while you're sleeping, we all fast. The only thing with intermittent fasting, you extend your time a little bit more. So let's say instead of eating at 8 a.m., you'll be like, okay, today I'm gonna intermittent fast until 10 a.m. So at that point, you've extended it from let's say 10 hours to 12 hours. So I like to fast until about 12 o'clock. I track my fasting time on an application called Do Fasting. It tracks my time, it tracks my water, because sometimes water, you need to make sure you get enough water throughout the day. It tracks my food. It has a lot of different meal ideas, snack ideas, even exercises. I'll leave it linked in the description below, just so that you guys see which one I'm using. Right now, Do Fasting is offering up to 75% off on all their fasting plans. And the first 100 of you to actually grab that will get an additional 10% off. And that's with Low Carb Love 10. I'll leave the code here and the link in the description below. The application has made my life so much easier, because sometimes just thinking about the fasting time, it gets a little overwhelming. So just knowing that it's being tracked, and then I could just look at it, okay, I have about an hour left. And then just all the other features in terms of tracking my water. I know I'm getting enough water throughout the day. It just makes life so much easier. You guys should definitely check it out, especially if you guys are trying to get started on intermittent fasting. It is extremely, extremely helpful. Okay, and if you guys are gonna check it out, make sure you click the link, because the 10% off will only work on my link that I'm gonna leave in the description below, and it has to be on a web browser. So you can't do it on your phone, it has to be on a web browser and through my link. Now, tip number 2 is to focus on protein. So I'm gonna show you a quick, delicious lunch that is protein focused. So let's head over to the stove and get started. Okay guys, so we're gonna start off by cooking our steak. Now, a pro tip to have a juicy, tender steak is 1, let it come to room temperature, and 2, lightly salt it, which I've already done. What it does is it actually brings out the moisture from the inside out. And 3, cook it medium rare. You wanna make sure that your pan is nice and hot, because that's how you're gonna get that sear. With steak, I absolutely love steak, not only for the taste, but because it is so high in protein. And this has protein and fat, so it helps me stay satiated, it helps me stay nice and full, and it keeps me from snacking. So one of the things that I've noticed is when I incorporate healthy fats and protein together, I don't snack as much throughout the day, which sometimes, as much as you might think oh, it's just a little snack here, a little snack there, it definitely adds up. So protein, protein, protein. We're gonna cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side, and then we're gonna let it rest so that it will continue to cook, and it also keeps all the juices inside. Now, while our steak is resting, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on our stir fry. I'm gonna first add in our onion. We're gonna add in some onion, saute that until they are nice and fragrant. For fresh garlic, you can use garlic powder, but honestly, like, you can't beat the taste of fresh garlic. We're adding in some red and yellow peppers. I'm gonna do a little salt and pepper. Mushrooms. Give that a quick little saute, and let's toss in our cabbage. Now, instead of soy sauce, I'm using coconut aminos, but you can use tamari, which is gluten-free soy sauce. You can use soy sauce or your coconut aminos. A little splash. And then we have a little bit of organic sesame oil. Now, these don't have to be cooked. These are shirataki noodles, and I have like the spaghetti style. And these are great for like stir fries if you're trying to make like a noodle dish. These are great. They're 0 calories, 0 carbs, and they take on any flavor profile that you put into it. So good. The reason why I love stir fries is because it's very filling. You have the cabbage, the shirataki noodles, all the veggies. It is really filling. And yes, those are carbs, but they are healthy carbs. And then you have all the protein. Now with this, it's a ribeye steak. Ribeye steaks have a lot of marbling, which has fat. So the fat and the protein is gonna keep you satiated for long. Not only that, it's super nutrient dense, has a ton of vitamins and minerals. So I always opt for protein during especially like my big meal. Like, this is probably one of my heaviest meals. For dinner, I might have something a little lighter, maybe like a chicken salad or something that still has protein, but that is a little lighter. Because of the steak, I am gonna stay full for several hours. I don't know, at least 5 or 6 hours, I'm gonna be full. Now for my third tip is dessert. So I'm a huge snacker and I have a huge sweet tooth. So both, I feel like, come hand in hand. For me, if I'm gonna do a snack, again, I'm gonna do something like beef jerky, maybe some almonds, a tablespoon of peanut butter, something along those lines. I also love yogurt and berries. I love yogurt and berries for either a snack or dessert. Is typically like my size, my portion, you know, that I serve myself. I feel like it's not too small of a portion and not too big. It's just really satiating. I also have the blueberries in there. So it's like the perfect low carb snack that also has a little bit of fat. So it's not going to keep me wanting more, like more and more snacks. Like, yeah, like it's not gonna keep me wanting more. But I think that knowing what your options are super, super important, because a lot of times if you're trying to live a low carb lifestyle or you're on a weight loss journey, you think like, I cannot have dessert or I cannot be snacking. And sure, you might get like better and quicker results if you don't, but I don't want you guys to think that you're not gonna be successful, you're not gonna reach your goals if you do have dessert, because a lot of times it will help keep the lifestyle you're living sustainable. So this to me is sustainable. If I have a little dessert after I eat, I feel good, I feel happy, I can move on about my day without continuing to think about food. So those are my 3 tips. Just to recap, intermittent fasting, super important for me. Loading up on protein, really just focusing on protein. And then when it comes to dessert or snacking, knowing which options I have to keep me on track. So guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you have any tips that might help others. Guys, and just a reminder, I'm gonna leave a link to do fasting in the description below. But thanks so much for being here. I love you, and I will see you on my next video. Mwah.